The views and opinions expressed by guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of the host or producers. Any products and services discussed or statements and claims made by the guests remain the responsibility of the guests. Content is shared for informational and educational purposes only. The host and producers are not liable for the accuracy, legality, or sensitivity of any statements made or information shared by the guests. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, Thomas.
Good
Hello,
morning.
Dennis. So welcome to my humble little studio. It's an exciting episode for me because this is what we're going to discuss today is something new that I haven't had in the Professional Plumber podcast before. It's a product that we're going to discuss that haven't been discussed in the show before. But again, Thomas, Dennis, thanks for your time and your effort in driving all the way through to Pretoria to come and do this episode with me. It's lucky to have you in studio.
Thank you.
Willem,
It's a pleasure.
thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thomas, so you've been in distributing for about 25 years now, but despite that, were you one of the founders of Moxical, the brand Moxical, and the organization or company Moxical, and that has been about 5 years in this industry?
Correct. Willem, I've been in the importing industry and distributing industry for basically most of my life. I worked for an importers company for about 25 years, where we were distributing products into the automotive, mechanics, and light engineering and body shop market.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never really been involved with the plumbing market, but I've been involved and I've got a lot of experience in distributing products. So this opportunity came along where we got hold of an importer that asked us to distribute plumbing products for them into the South African market, and that's why we're here today. We've taken it on, and we want to give it a full go.
It's always lucky to have a new name with new stuff coming into the market. Well, it might be familiar products that you have, but the fact is, it's a like a new name and a new player in the market. And it's interesting always for us to find a little bit of the background. So if you don't mind, Thomas, Moxical, you said in the automotive industry. So that's different. It might not be applicable to the plumbers, but it might just be interesting for them to know what kind of products have you supplied to that, because you've established yourself. Moxical has established itself as a trusted brand. It distributes world-class products into the automotive industry. And now you're entering the plumbing industry. But tell us a little bit more about the automotive industry.
All right, so a little bit more about Moxical itself. It's been established in 2021. After COVID, I started the business. And I used to be in the automotive industry, like I explained. And we started off by repairing all equipment for the body shop industry and distributing products to the body shop industry. That means we supply equipment and tools. That's our main focus on the body shop, and light engineering and mechanical. That includes items like UPPs, King Tony. We distribute Jador. We distribute Bosch. We distribute Ryobi. So all these tools and equipment, light hand tools, as well as welding equipment like the Augusta welding machine range, plasma cutting range. So everything to do with equipment and repairs we're involved with. Then we also do paints. So we started in the body shop industry, but we also moved into the light industrial and engineering, where we can supply. There's a lot of new things also coming out, like direct to metal paints, where you can paint something without putting on a primer, which is a very exciting time, because we used to only supply products that you have to prepare properly, and then you have to put a primer, and then you have to put a top coat. So it's a cost-effective way and a time sensitive product where you can now clean a part and then spray it once, and it's covered. So
Jeez.
so we basically specialists in the body shop in light engineering industry. But we are essentially the distribution company. So whatever we can take from a importer, we can distribute it. And on the range that we've got now, except for what we're going to explain to you today regarding valves, manhole covers, and fittings and plastic fittings, we can supply electrical hand tools and hand tools, normal hand tools for the panel, for the
plumbers.
The plumbers, and we're very excited because that is just increasing our footprint in the market into different market segments, which will in turn increase our
what you have to offer,
what we have to offer into the South African market.
Awesome. I mean, like I said, it's not a newcomer in South Africa, but it's a newcomer to the plumbing market, but it has a lot to offer.
Correct.
And yeah, we're only going to discuss two different types of products today in this episode, but certainly you did mention, I mean, that spray paint direct to metal, that's already something that the plumbers can use and apply. And then also the light hand tools that you distribute. Obviously, you don't have any plumbers who do not use light hand tools. They all use light hand tools.
Exactly.
Something that's very interesting that we did in the automotive industry is that we identified what, let's say, for instance, a stripper and assembler in a panel shop needs, and then we identified what a mechanic in a workshop needs. So we've put application-specific toolboxes together. And that is one of the things that we had a question of when we were here in the open day, which we really enjoyed meeting some of the plumbers.
Yes, you exhibited at our World Plumbing Day.
Correct,
event. Yeah.
correct. And we met some of the guys and they said, it would be nice to have a starter-up kit for, let's say, for instance, there's a new... what's the other word for an appy?
An appy? It's an appy?
An appy.
We call them appies.
You get an appy in, you have to set him up. What do you buy for him?
Yeah.
So we want to put together a starter kit for a plumber.
A ready to use plumbing kit.
Plumbing
tool kit, yeah.
The plumbing tool kit.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
And I think that is something that can, I don't know if it's been done before, but we know it's working in the automotive industry, so we believe it's going to work in the plumbing industry.
Listen, talking about the plumbing industry, let's quickly have a look at what you have currently to offer. The two products that we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to talk about the couplings and the fittings and those kind of things, but also about the manhole covers. And that's why I said it's an exciting plumbing episode or a podcast episode, because I've never discussed manhole covers. Hey, I mean, if you think about it, it's almost as if nobody thinks about manhole covers until that manhole cover's not there, and somebody steps into the hole or a vehicle gets stuck in a trench or something like that. Then everybody complains about the manhole not being there. But a manhole cover is not really something that is really conscientiously in somebody's mind the whole time. But those are the two kind of things that you currently want to discuss in this episode. So if you don't mind, Dennis, yourself, or Thomas, if you don't want to take us quickly
well, I'm going to give
range.
Dennis a chance now, because
Okay, yeah, please. Okay.
I will talk the whole day.
All right, we are the importers, and our brands is the Uniflow brand. On the compression fittings, we go to ERA and FAST range. So if we only talk about manhole covers, so there's a big range of manhole covers available. From a pedestrian manhole cover until up to a manhole cover that's used on the road. Okay, so these manhole covers, they are designed by us, the ones that we've got available. We do the design, we do the drawings, we send it to our suppliers, and then they manufacture it to our drawings. Okay, so the different classes, pedestrian manhole cover obviously don't need a a certificate. But then on the bigger sizes, we go over and it's governed by a SAN spec. And now I lost that specification. Just want to get it here. The SANS 50124, EN124. And then there's different classes. So it will start with a manhole cover that you use on the sidewalk, or that's a B125, can take 12.5 tons. Then it goes to a C250. It can be used in parking lots. And then you go to a D400. I must make sure that I'm right with that one. That is used in the driveway, on the roads, everywhere. It can take 40 tons. Now, all of this is, the design criteria is set out by SANS. And then we get BSI, British Standard Institute.
Oh, well familiar with them, yeah.
To come in, and they test every one for us, every design for us. So they would, first off, test it for the load. Can it take the load? Is it designed for according to our drawings and everything? And then yearly we go through a process. We check, we get audited. Every load that we get, we test them. We've got our own testing facility in our Cape Town branch where we test, do sample testing on some of them, on a sample basis to make sure that every load that comes in is correct according to the specifications. So yeah, we've got a lot of products that valve boxes, belt tovey, hydrant boxes that can be used in the mining, in the plumbing industry. And then the pedestrian manhole covers, obviously, where it's used to cover up product and not really for to protect what's inside. It's more to just cover it up so that it's not visible from outside. Yeah.
So I think if you think about plumbers, and we're talking a plumber, it can be a small one-man show, or it can be a big organization putting in, setting up a new development where you need 50, 60 manhole covers. Now those guys, that's the bigger guys, they know where to get them, and they do but now the plumber coming to a house, it's the guy's checking the house out, and he finds here's a manhole cover, the normal covers, small ones, and it's missing. So now where does he go to buy one?
It happens quite a lot, isn't it?
It happens a lot.
You find a manhole, as small as it may be, but then the cover is gone. The cover is missing.
Correct. Especially if the guy, and there's a lot of boreholes been put in Gauteng area and all over the country, and every borehole, the pump must be covered with something. And, to get the manhole covers for that as well. We had a situation where we didn't put a manhole cover on one of our own boreholes, and water leaked in and it affected the pump itself.
It contaminated
the water, the pump, the electricity side, and we had to pull it, and the cost to pull it was more than 5 manhole covers, if we can put it like that.
Okay, I understand that.
So if you think about manhole covers, it's not just the big guys, it's also the small guys that need a manhole cover. I spoke to a plumber the other day where he said, I buy about 4 or 5 manhole covers a month. But 5 manhole covers a month, if you've got 10 plumbers that's buying 5 from you, you've got 50 manhole covers a month that you supply. Yeah. And the nice thing about Moxical is that, especially in Gauteng, Pretoria area, we can deliver. So you don't have to jump in the car and then drive and go buy to the closest distribution, and try and get, and then it's not the right size. If you've got the information, you can go into the website and you can check the size that you need, and you can place the order, and we can have it very quickly for you. Yeah. So that's what we're trying to achieve is the turnaround time and getting the information, getting the pricing, getting the product out to the plumber as soon as possible.
Yeah. Look, the fact is, we've got quite a number, especially registered with the PIRB. There are quite a number of what we refer to as either commercial or construction plumbers who do your new builds and your new property developments and those kind of things. They will typically be your main market for these. But that doesn't stop the maintenance plumber, which is by far the greatest number of plumbers in South Africa, is your typical maintenance plumbers. But even a maintenance plumber, when they rock up at let's say, for instance, a townhouse complex, and they need to fix, a water pipe under a water supply pipe under the pavement or something like that, and there's a manhole cover, they need to understand what manhole covers do, the different types of manhole covers, which one do you apply for which application, and that's exactly why we're having this podcast. It's not just for one side of the market. They all need to learn about this. Again, it's why I'm saying it's an interesting podcast for me. It's an exciting podcast because I've never discussed manhole covers on my podcast.
It sounds like a stupid thing, but it's actually
Yes.
a very nice and it's an extra few cents in the pocket for the plumber if you go to a site and you go to fix something and you see there's no manhole cover on the manhole cover is missing. You can say to the client, "Listen, I can replace that manhole cover for you," and suddenly there's a little bit more, and it makes the visit much better.
But you know what? I've seen at our exhibition at our World Plumbing Day event here at PRB's premises. I've seen that there are all different shapes and sizes. There are rectangular shapes, and they come in different thicknesses as well. Now, I suppose that comes up to the strength of the thing and what the application would be. Should it be used for, like where vehicles pass over, or the other ones that have a thinner type of metal that you use? Tell us about the different ones, the different manholes. You slightly touched on it.
Yeah, I think what for a pedestrian manhole cover, the material used to manufacture them is cast iron. So it's a bit of a cheaper product. There is different sizes. Now, the sizes is governed also by a code. So you will have different, when you come to a manhole cover and the cover is missing, the chances of getting another cover to fit on there is very good because we try to keep everything to a standard.
Interesting.
Okay,
cool.
So you need to measure it and give us the detail, and then we can replace it. So that is the pedestrian side. We've also got like what we call a gully grid, where the water can run through it. Important, manhole cover is not really there to keep water out. No manhole cover is really ever waterproof,
Yes.
but it helps. If you can build it the right way and lift it a bit off the ground level, it is even better to keep water out of the hole or wherever you're putting it on. Then when we go to the more expensive ones, it's ductile iron. It's a stronger iron. And there it can take all the weight. That's why it's going to where you're going to on a sidewalk or on the road.
And parking areas in like shopping malls and centers and those
there.
kind of things. Yeah,
Exactly.
Office buildings.
Exactly. I think what's also important is to remember that to make sure that you put the right one in, and never to go to a lighter duty, because that will cause a lot of problems in the future for you. We are always willing to give information or to go and look at the applications where it's used and to suggest what is the right product for the application. Then talking about manhole covers where the cover is missing, that's not there. We've got in our range manhole covers where the lid is hinging. So when you install it, the hinge will be underneath the ground level, below the ground level. So it is impossible to take it out, except if you break the cement or the tar around it. Okay, so that's the one thing. Then we also have different locking mechanisms. quite expensive, but you can lock it. If you go to a school where you install manhole covers, we always sell a locking device with it, so that no one can take that off, and there's a chance that a child can fall in there. So we've got that locking devices as well, with a special spanner designed only to only that spanner can open that manhole cover. So that's also available. I think that's basically all about
the range
manhole
of it,
covers. Like you said earlier, there's square ones, there's round ones, there's rectangular ones.
We had one that I helped you carry in. It had a cone shape. I found that very, very interesting because I've never seen one like that. It had a small opening in the lid at the top, the round lid at the top, but it was cone shaped and came to a greater, roundest circle diameter at the bottom.
So that is very specific for plumbers. So you'll put that on top of a valve. So it will protect your valve at the bottom. It's bigger at the bottom. On top, when you open it, you can only put your hand in there. So you can't go in there and take the valve out or steal the valve out.
Nice.
It's in there. It's protected. You can only put your hand through. That lid is connected to the actual manhole body with a chain. So it's a very good product for
the plumbers.
Yeah, we've got a hydrant box. I've got a sample here as well that you can show later, and then we've got a valve box. So the valve box and hydrant box is a bit not as high as the valve box. In that case, is also specifically for valve installations underground, where you've got a cover on top of that.
Nice. But we're speaking now. We're keeping it. We mentioned about stealing the lids, and children perhaps falling in or people stepping in the risk associated with that. But there's another risk when it comes to stealing. Theft is theft, and in South Africa specifically, we spoke about this off air before we started recording. Is the fact that stuff gets stolen, metal gets stolen. And here we are speaking about the fact that your manhole covers are still made and manufactured of metal as a material.
Correct.
And yes, we did say that it is cast iron, and there was another ductile iron. I'm not familiar with that, but still, it is a type of metal. Isn't there a risk of them getting stolen for? I know that a lot of other distributors or importers bring in the plastic manhole covers. But delve a little bit into the difference between the two and why it is that Moxical decided to stick
to the metal ones. I think what people don't realize, and I think what the thieves don't realize out there, is that that thing might be heavy, but it's cast iron, and it's not a normal steel or copper. The value is just ridiculously low. So they carry this thing all the way to a yard and to go and then they get very, very little.
They get 2 cents for it.
Yes. So for the panel beater, for the plumber that needs to go and convince a guy not to take the plastic one, but the steel one, you can use the following example. So if you take the value of the plastic one, is actually when you burn it and you get the steel out of the plastic one, because that must also be reinforced. Okay, the value of that steel inside the plastic.
So the plastic ones are reinforced with steel in it.
Correct. And the value of that steel inside the plastic one is more valuable than the heavy one that they carry.
The one that's made of
So we need to educate the thieves that they must rather steal the plastic ones than the steel ones. Okay, so that's the one thing. The other thing is that I forgot what I want to say about it, because there's
we used the example of when it comes to riots and protests.
Yes,
and
correct.
They literally burn.
You can't burn a plastic manhole cover. It's like a firelighter. It burns fantastic. And then they realize that there's steel in there, and then they start selling it. So yeah, we tend to stick to the steel ones.
Yeah.
because I think it's stronger, it lasts longer, and we don't have the risk of children picking it up
Yeah,
and getting in, because it's quite heavy
because it's so heavy. Yeah.
because of the heaviness.
Look, it's not to disrespect the plastic brands; those are made of plastic and reinforced with the steel inside. I think that there's a place in the market for every
Correct.
type, and certainly when Moxical decided to stick to the metal ones, it was for specific reason, and it was just interesting to find that out.
No, this is part of the
We'll certainly-
part of the South African
we do
heritage.
We do these podcasts to educate the plumbers or to teach the plumbers about something, but I think that hopefully there's a couple of metal thieves watching this podcast as well, and I can say to them, you should steal these podcasts. You're going to carry heavy for quite a few kilometers and not get anything for it. So, but
Correct.
let's move over to the connectors and the couplings and the valves that Moxical also do. If you don't mind to take us about through the range and go for it.
Okay, I think I'm just quickly going to mention the valve range that's available that we're not going to discuss in
Detail
today. So we've got butterfly valves from 50 millimeter up to 600 millimeter available. Non-return valves, double door, single door, slim types, ball check valves, swing check valves available. Also up to 300 millimeter at least. We've got strainers, also available up to 300 millimeter off the shelf. That's also used a lot in the plumbing industry. We've got ball valves, polyprop ball valves, also available. Then we've got, I must now get to the whole range, I think, that plumbers use. I think I mentioned all of them at the moment.
Yeah, I think also if the plumbers want to know a little bit more, they can go to the website, Moxical at www.moxical.co.za, and they can select on plumbing. There's a specific plumbing section that we're setting up. We busy with the suppliers to get proper pictures of the items, but the specifications and the pricing is already it's going to be on the pricing we took out now, because we are busy getting a live pricing so that if there's one price changing, it changes immediately on the website. So probably in a month or two, we're going to have the whole range with pricing, current, up-to-date pricing available with a picture, everything. So you can go there, click on it immediately, put it in a basket, and send it, and we send you a quote, and we take it from there. So it's easy accessible, and everything is very straightforward on the website.
Lekker.
Okay.
Lekker. I think,
then, sorry?
Yeah. I wanted to say is that today you said that we're not specifically going to touch on the valves, but we were looking more at the converters and the couplings,
The compression fittings. And I think that if we're going to talk about that, I would like to introduce my colleague here that knows a lot more about it. And if he can discuss the range and the quality, because we do also go through quality processes there, maybe we can, at this stage,
bring him onto the set.
Onto the set, if it's okay.
So I'm just going to tell our audience quickly. We're going to quickly bring Patrick onto the set. We're going to do a quick swap out, and then thank you. Patrick, we've got you on the set. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm going to ask you to lean lekker close. Sit a bit
closer to the mic.
Don't be scared of me.
Is it too high? Is it
Yeah, still closer.
Oh, too closer.
There's a sensor in your mic
there we
there.
are. Okay.
There you go.
Cool.
Patrick,
Thank
so
you
we
very
were
much.
Dennis was telling about the range of the fittings, the couplings, and the press fittings, and those kind of things. Would you mind to just quickly take us through the range of products, the type of applications that the plumbers would typically use it for, and I'm going to give it over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for hearing me again. Okay, first we've got era. I'll grab just any.
Let me give it
fitting.
to you.
Okay, cool. That way.
I'm going to put them down here so that you can have a nice chat, explain to
So
the guys.
we've got a wider range. Actually, I was battling to which to pick. So, for instance, here we've got a T and a quality. I just picked 40 millimeter for exhibition show perspective. But on this fitting, the application is mainly for water. This fitting goes up to 16 by. It's an era fitting. It's an era compression product. So
All right. So the brand is Era.
it's era, yeah.
All right.
We've got it in the brand is era. It's 16 bar rated, but 16 bar rated on the equal side. So if it's got a thread, if you've got similar fitting, if it's got a thread here, then that's going to be a 10 bar rated fitting. So it's 16 bar if it's equal. It's pipe.
Yes.
And we get this fitting from 20 millimeter right up to 110. So on a thread side, for instance, maybe if I can use a male adapter, of which all of these fittings will have a variant of kind of some straight both sides, some straight on one side. So for instance, on the male adapter, that's where the range is too big because you'll find one size has got 3 different outlets. For instance, this is 40 by 1.5. You can get 40 by 1.25. And then the 32 and that. So what's happening with this fitting, all of our products are SATAS approved.
Okay.
So they've got SATAS approved, they tested, so they are welcomed in the country.
So basically they meet the standards.
They meet the standards.
The required
yes,
standards,
yes,
yeah.
So on the fittings itself, the application is quite easy. I mean, you just push in the pipe. You actually, if you want to, you can take the thing apart. You can take the thing apart, and then you just cut your pipe. Make sure that the pipe is cut level. Some people use there's a tool that you can buy that will guide you to cut the pipe straight.
Yeah.
And you also need to clean the pipe. So you need to try and clean the edges and the debris and all those things.
Yes.
That it fits properly and all. And you push the pipe right. First, you're going to put in the nut, and then you put in the clinch ring onto the pipe.
Okay.
Now, your pipe is sticking outside this
Yes,
way.
correct.
And then from there, you will be pushing this thing until it goes past the O-ring. There's an O-ring there. You will feel it going past the O-ring.
Can I check there?
Yeah, you can check there's an O-ring in there.
I feel it inside
Yeah,
there.
once it gets, this is just to keep the O-ring in place.
Okay.
Yeah, so and the O-ring, the purpose of the O-ring is to make sure that it doesn't leak. So once you push it through there, and I mean this is now this way, then you'll just pull in the clinch ring like that, and you will just
Tighten
it. We've got a spanner that I didn't bring on show. We also supply the spanner to help you tight because now most plumbers out there, they use bobby yarns and all those kinds of other tools.
And it's not necessary for this in this case.
Yes, and sometimes, I mean, once we go to the bigger sizes, your 110, your 90, your 60, sometimes you won't have a spanner that big. So you'll have 2 spanners. One will put this way to hold this part that it doesn't move, and then you have a spanner that you'll put on this side to tighten the thing. Just make sure it's tight enough. The other application, mostly, you sometimes on this you cannot, if you don't want to, you don't have to take off everything. You can just, as it comes like that, you can just unloosen it
And push it over.
and just push the pipe over.
Okay.
And tighten back. Everything is gonna go back to the place. It's gonna fit
Nice.
into
If
that.
you have to replace the pipe.
If you have to replace the pipe.
All
yes.
right.
Because sometimes it's if experienced plumbers will know what to do, but sometimes as they take it off, there's water all over the place.
Yes.
They were fixing there.
Yes.
And one thing can just fall into the water and they don't see it and then just put it back.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a problem. So we get this on different sizes, like I said before. Basically, on a thread side, most of them will go up to 4-inch.
Okay.
And on a pipe side, all of them will go 210. So I think there's only one brand that will do 160 on a compression, but it's very difficult to find. Once you go over there, then we're looking at the other method, which is electrofusion and your part welding and all those kind of things. But no normal plumber, normally this will be the trick.
All right.
For that. And then we also got a valve. We've also got a valve in the same thing. It's in a line. You just put it in a line, and the valve it's also 16 bar rated. It's just inline valve. At the moment, we only bring this from 15 right up to 63.
60, okay.
63. And then now we will quickly move, I don't know my time here, but
That's fine.
we'll quickly move on to the PVC side. That was a compression.
Yes.
Formerly known, most people call these things plus-ons. So most people, when they walk in the shop, they say, I want a plus-on fitting.
All right.
Actually, the plus-on is a brand.
So Plus
Plus
is a
One's a
brand,
brand.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a brand. It's a well-known brand, which is known all over, but there are hundreds of these names out there. So ours is Era.
Era.
It's Era brand.
Era.
Where's Era manufactured?
It's manufactured in China. Is it
I see.
China?
I can actually see the name embroidered.
Yes. You can also
it says Era, the brand Era.
you can also check the it's also WRS approved, which is
All right.
European standards. So it's got all the
Approvals that's
approvals,
necessary
yeah.
for.
Yes, and we've got a certificate. If a plumber needs a certificate to to prove that,
Yeah.
then we will supply the certificates.
So you were saying Plus One. Plus One is a brand.
Plus one, yeah, plus.
But this is exactly the same type of thing. It's just that the brand now
will-
is Era.
Yeah, it will just do everything that a plus one brand will do. It's just it's the same. It's a brand, like I said. It's
Yes.
the Mercedes and Toyota. They are both
Yes.
cars.
Yeah.
It's just the other.
It's
one.
almost it's almost like when it comes to fittings against the wall or fixings against the wall, and people speak of a Fisher plug,
Yeah.
or a Hilti plug,
Or a roll,
yeah,
roll
or a
bolt.
roll bolt.
Yes,
Roll
yeah,
bolt.
That is
It's actually
brand.
a name, it's a brand, but
Yeah.
everybody
It's
calls
it's
it
a
a roll
brand,
bolt.
but they associate that specific product
Yeah,
with.
with the brand.
They say, pass me a Fisher plug quickly, or pass me a Hilti. Hey, I'm doing
Correct.
some promotion for the two brands here now. But the fact is that kind of product has been associated with the brand
With the
name.
brand, yes.
And you're saying that some of these fittings and press fittings and things, that there is an existing brand on the market
Yes.
that people associate it with.
Yes.
And when they walk into a shop, they ask for that brand.
Yes.
But they can also now ask for your brand, which is the Era brand.
Yes. But now the problem is now, what I'm trying to bring up, people will turn away and go hunt for that particular brand, which is, I think, it's only the name that is out in the market. It's difficult. We can challenge anyone who wants to go and buy that particular brand. You maybe you'll find one or two retailers or plumbing shop that still keeps that brand. So it delays time to you'll drive all over the place. But we can assure you, if you buy this, then you've got that. You've got that. So if you can find that brand, it's also, and our prices are very competitive.
Yeah.
We've
I
got
think it gets down to our history is that we like a brand and we stick to that brand.
Yeah.
It's
And-
typical of us as South Africans. We
Yes.
Correct.
We don't necessarily want to change or accept something new.
Yeah, and that saying, if you want something cheap, ask a China. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, that has changed over the last 10 years. The quality coming out of China 10 years ago and 15 years ago compared to what's coming out of China now today is two different things.
Exactly.
You can just look at the vehicles that's on the market
Yes,
now today.
absolutely.
The quality is increased dramatically. Their workforce has been increased. The rules, the regulations in China has shot up through the roof.
Yeah.
That's why you also get the apps. You still get the absolute cheap stuff, but there's definitely top quality products coming out of China, and it's getting manufactured under license from the European companies. On our side in the industry that I'm used to, in the automotive industry, you can't believe how many products is manufactured, American and European, German products getting manufactured in China under label, and the quality is just phenomenal. So I think people should start take notice of the Chinese products and the Chinese brands, because they are really top quality at the moment.
But at the same time, it's what I wanted to say is that if we mention another brand that may have the similar type of product, we absolutely mean absolutely no disrespect to that brand, because each one have their place in the market, and you know, they have their customers, their loyal customers. But what we are saying is, here is another brand. Here is another brand that is quality, that handles the same quality, that handles the same standard, and it is high in it's becoming more in demand. It's becoming more popular. Hence, we're having this podcast, and it's reliable. It's a reliable product, and you know, there is sufficient stock in the market. It is widely spread and widely stocked in the market. So that's what we're introducing in this podcast. Not to disrespect any other brand for that matter.
No, for sure not.
Because, like I said, they do have their place in the market.
I think also the warranties on these are the same as on the top brands that's available in the market now. So yeah,
you know,
tell us more about this.
Yeah, before I'll say, before getting to the PVC. I mean, if people are talking
Just closer to the mic,
if they talk to you and also talk to us about the product, and just give them a bit of a guidance of because 80% or 90% of failures, which maybe we get 1 or 2 in a year on one of the things, 80% to 100% of it, it's not the brand, it's the application.
Yeah,
correct.
It's the application. I've been in this game forever, and we don't you'll never go wrong. Sometimes, I mean, I don't know if I should mention it here. The first thing to be blamed, it's going to be a fitting, but maybe it's a pipe. Maybe the pipe is not to spec. The fitting is spec, but if the pipe is from a garage somewhere, that pipe, it won't be. It's not going to be oval. It's a recycled material, and then maybe it's too thin or it's too weak, and then it's going to pull off. But if everything is done per spec, and then I can guarantee you, because I'm the sales rep on the road. I mean, I visit these sites and all that. You'll never go wrong with them. With those fittings.
So what you're saying to me is that from experience, that when you have calls like a warranty call or those kind of things, from your knowledge, what you then find is that about 80% of those calls would be either a technician mistake that the technician and the installer has made, or the pipe might have been defective or something like that, but it's not necessarily your product. That's a good indication of the quality of your products, for that matter.
And the one last one now, the common one, that's why I mentioned I first started by cutting the pipe. I think most of the failures comes through when they're preparing the job, because if you cut the pipe at an angle, the other part is going to reach the end of the part first, where the other part is still on the O-ring or sticking on the other side of the O-ring.
And it won't be tightened and sealed properly.
It won't be tightened and sealed. I mean, that's 80% where the problems are, or they didn't clean the pipe around. So,
Patrick, what are these? I think these looks like valves to me.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about these.
Okay, now we now move into the UPVC side, which is now also this product. We carry 2 range. We've got Era, which is it's the same company. It's just a PVC version of those.
All right.
Where it's a solvent where the application is going to be your aircon companies, your swimming pool contractors, your water treatment plant, water purification plant. I mean,
might be water backup systems, because that's a new thing that's taking,
and there's a lot into the plumbing.
Rainwater harvesting, your grey water harvesting and distribution of those waters. That's a new trend in the plumbing industry. They see it as business opportunity. So this would typically be applied in those kind of
thing. And but as I was saying, we've got some other range of fittings, which is PVC fittings compared to that compression. So we've got everything here. We've got double union ball valves, where you can either get it on solvent, or this is solvent weld.
Yes.
You just take your pipe, again, the application, which we're not going to get too much onto it now. You clean the pipe, you use acetone. We've sold all of the things. We've got all of the cleaners and all that. Then you apply your PVC solvent cement, you put it in there. We've got different kind of solvent. You can even get an instant whereby you are in an emergency. You need to fix this thing and get it going same time. You don't have to wait all your 24 hours or 12 hours. There's a different application. The quicker you want it to set, the higher you will pay. If you've got time to wait to start the line tomorrow, then you will pay a little bit cheaper. So we get them both in and solvent and also in threaded.
Okay.
And it's also, the unions is for quick installations. If something fails in the future, you can just untie the union, come by the valve, and you don't disable the old pipe. You just can put the other one, and just it's going to be about a few seconds of
right.
of that. So that represents all of these fittings, all of these unions are similar. This concept is the same. There's a valve. This is just inline, just to join the two pipes. So you can, if there's
That's threaded,
yeah, you get threaded solvent. You get
and then you get solvent.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, solvent.
Okay.
So if there's an error, maybe there's one pipe you need to replace, you just take it off, and then you can, without cutting off the pipe, you can just put it on there. As you see, the O-ring's got the O-ring to seal.
For the seal.
For the sealing, yeah. So
But I see that, okay. So on this one, it's got thread. It's got thread on the other side as
Yes.
well. Yeah.
What else? I think this
But
one.
on the one that I had here, this was a solvent
Yes.
because it doesn't have any thread.
Yes.
All right.
So this one is solvent and thread.
Solvent and thread. So
yeah.
solvent on the one side
Yes.
and
Thread
thread
on
on
the
the
other
other.
side.
Yes. So it's basically to make it a little bit easier when a plumber or a technician is on site. Maybe sometimes there's already the thread that he needs to fit in, but on the other side, he needs to carry on a pipe. So you can buy them on the sides. We've got the pushes, we've got the pushes, like on this one, we get a push, we can push it down to a smaller size, and we can push on the solvent side. So it's just the range is too big. You can play around, you'll never
It
go
reduces basically.
wrong. Yeah, reducer. So there's a male adapter.
Right, I see. Is this a reducer?
Now that's
So
about
it's-
the same size if I look at it.
Yeah.
But you can go from a larger size to
Yeah.
a smaller size as well.
For instance, on this one, you can have it half inch here. You can have it half inch here to take on a 25 pipe on this side.
right.
So maybe you've already got a tap, a valve somewhere that's half inch, but you want to go out with a 32 pipe. You can just buy as it is and just mention this side, you want it on a half inch. On the other side, you can have it on a 1 inch here, but you want to go on to the smaller side. You can just take the fitting as it is and just buy one small little bush. You push it in, weld it on here, and then now you've moved.
Off you go.
Off you go to the smaller side. So actually, the room to play it's quite huge. And then this is just a socket. I'm keeping this here because now that's where I also want to just talk a little bit about it in the market between these two. These are two almost the same thing that is in the market. They are both called, this one is called the female socket.
Right.
Female, that's a female, they, on a thread side, you've got that, on that one is a 1 inch female thread to a 32 pipe.
All right.
So this one will also say the same. But this one is going to say female adapter.
This one.
Yeah, it's going to be, say, 32. I mean, 1 inch to 32.
Okay.
Yeah. But now the difference is, this one, it's an adapter. It doesn't take the pipe direct. You can't, you will need either something to put on top. On that one, as you screw it onto your valve or whatever, you can automatically, same time, screw in the pipe in there.
All right.
Yes. So the reason is on these two, this one, you can, to play on this one, the room is very small. You still can play with putting the pushes back and forth, but it's a little bit complex. It needs someone who knows what you are doing. Now, what's happening on this one, a 1 inch can only have a 32 outlet, 32 pipe. A 1.25 inch can only have a 40 outlet. As it goes like that, the 50 to 63 and all those going up.
Okay.
If you want to play on the other side, then you need to push it. But now, mostly with the plumbers, when they order, they will just say, I want, they will be looking for this one, but they will be mentioning that one, and will supply this one, and they'll say it's wrong. So
When they get to site, they'll find out that it's not the correct
yeah.
one.
So now, if just, there's a female socket and there's a female adapter. The female adapter, you will need to put something over, unless maybe your space is too tight. You just you can put an elbow, put an elbow directly onto this one. You can put a socket directly onto this one, which it will make it easier to finish the project. We also keep PTFE, because all of this solvent fitting, all of these threaded fittings, somehow you need to put a thread tape. So we also keep a PTFE. We've got 3 types of there. We've got, they all do the same thing, but again, it's based on a budget. Which one do you like? Us, we said there's a method of choice. So yeah, that's basically.
That's
I'm trying to summarize what I mean. I can go on and on. We've got
Yeah, it's a
yeah.
very big range.
Yeah, it's a big range. Yeah.
But like I said, everything is available on the website. So before you go or when you quote on a project, you can basically put everything together and work it out, and pricing is there, so you can put everything together and do your costing, and then take it out, or you put in the basket what you want, and you send it through, and we will give you pricing on everything if the price is not available on the website yet.
We're speaking about the putting together. We're speaking about you giving advice, tips and advice for the plumbers, for the technicians. We're speaking about the fact that they can go onto the website and check what the range is, what the application is there for. Let's talk about quickly where plumbers can find these products. At the type of stores, where can they find it? Do you stock at your normal, like your franchise big name ranges, or your more independent local stores, smaller local stores?
So what we do is I talk about the website a lot because we're a distribution company.
All right.
So we distribute straight directly from the importer to the end user.
Right, okay.
So we can, you put the request in with us, and we can either, if it's in our area, we can collect and deliver to you, or you can send us the information. We put the order together, and we distribute, whether it's in Cape Town, because there is a warehouse in Cape Town, there's a warehouse in Durban, there's a warehouse in Johannesburg. So from that centers, it can be distributed straight to the
site.
Straight to the site, or straight to the customer where he wants it.
Nice.
So that's communication. That's where we communication between the plumber or the organization. If you do if you've done your quote and we do the quote with you, we can also, if you've got a project, you can send the information on what you need or the project itself. And I'm sure Patrick here will assist in putting what you need there and there and there, especially if if you're not afraid with everything, you will be available to assist. You can phone him and say, Patrick, we need to do this and this and this, and he will advise, and we will assist you with putting a quote together for the application, and then we take it from there.
All right. That's excellent. It was then good that I actually asked this, because that's an interesting concept of an online store, basically, as the distributor selling directly to the end user, and then having that information shared with them on the podcast to say, this is how we do it. You do your design, your layout, where you will need what type of fittings, what type of...
Willem, this is the future.
Yeah.
The future is warehousing. You're not going to drive to a shop anymore.
Yeah.
I believe in 10 years' time, everything's going to be online, well, even sooner than that. We want to be ahead. We want to be leading in that. So you... with the difference is, we're not a Take-A-Lot or a one of these big companies where Amazon, where you select and 10 guys is applying the same product, but nobody knows how it works. Very good example of that was welding machines. I get a call. I'm in Johannesburg. I'm situated in Johannesburg, and I get a call from the West Coast. The gentleman wants to buy a MIG welder, and he starts asking me questions, and I answer the questions. He got my name on the website, our details, and he found us. And after a while, he said, "You know what, Thomas? You're the fourth guy I'm talking to online, the first guy that knows what I need." Because there's a lot of guys opening web-based distributions, but they're selling everything, but they don't have the infrastructure to support them backup. So you need to make sure that when you purchase online, that the people that you're talking to either know what you need, or can put you in contact with somebody like a Patrick that can assist immediately. Because that's what's important, is that we can still give the support and the backup although we are online.
Okay, that's very, very important, especially to our plumbers.
Yes,
You know, they come to trust a brand when there's that support, that after sales support, and you know, the warranties and the things and the qualities of the things.
And we've got representation in the country where if somebody in Hartswater's got a problem, irrigation, let's say it's a farmer, not a plumber, but it's a farmer with irrigation. There are reps all over the country that can visit the farm and go check the infrastructure and assist. So it's very important to know that we are capable of arranging it.
Yeah. Having in supporting of what Thomas said just now, I always say, I mean, like in technology has brought everything. It has made things easier for the guys.
A lot.
A lot. Yeah. But now, on our side, I mean, remember, it's about service. It's about service. It's about like getting your quotation in time, and it's about after sales service.
Yeah,
and advice. So, I mean, technology, like I said, it can bring those, but I mean, if there's no support behind the thing, so you won't be able to go ahead with the thing. So we will offer those services where we attend to the queries and all that. That way makes us like have standing a little bit above than the guy next door. So we will support our brand. I mean, we've did it in the past. So our brand is it's fail proof most of the time if it's applied correctly. But we, like I said, we'll do it.
100%. Listen, Thomas, I actually wanted us to still do a presentation of the manhole covers as well, but we're running out of time for this specific episode. So what we'll do is we're going to ask our editor to bring in some nice photographs or pictures or images of the different shapes and sizes of those.
That would be fantastic.
As we spoke about them earlier in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think to round this episode off once again, it was valuable information that you shared with us. It's always interesting and it's always exciting when there's a new player in the market. It was exciting for me to have you on the podcast. Exciting information, exciting products that you're bringing in. Good to hear about the way that you're distributing and the way that the plumbers can get hold of you. Just to mention again, it's quickly that it's
www.moxical.co.za.
Telephone numbers, email address.
The name is going to be on the podcast, so they will be able to find it.
We'll put it in on the screen for them to see as well.
And if they struggle, they can just phone your offices, and you'll be able to tell us where we are.
100%.
And then also, I see here we're going to talk about training. I know you do training sessions here for the guys.
Yes.
We are very keen to have Patrick over here and Dennis. To do a training session.
Awesome.
So if there's guys coming out for training, we will be more than glad to assist with that.
Lekker. The guys love to come and attend training here, so it will be lucky to have you here, specifically chatting to them about the stuff that they haven't heard before. Awesome. Again, Patrick,
thank you very much.
Thanks for joining. I know that you guys were nervous, especially you and Dennis. Thomas has done it a couple of times before.
I'm tired.
But it was lucky to have you on the show. Thanks for the time and the effort.
Thank you, Willem. It's very, very privileged to be here, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We'll do this again.
Thank you.